Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My question is to the Minister for Social Development and Employment and asks, does she stand by her statement that, quote, this government has made unemployment our number one priority during the course of this recession, unquote?
Honourable Paula Bennett.
Mr. Speaker, yes, I do.
Hon Maryan Street.
Has the Minister seen today's Sydney Morning Herald, which reports that unemployment figures in Australia have dropped to 5.3%, falling for the fourth consecutive month, and that 52,000 jobs were created there in January alone? And if so, what comparable action is she taking to close the gap with Australia?
Honourable Paula Bennett.
Mr. Speaker, no, I haven't read the Sydney Morning Herald. I've been concentrating on New Zealand and been very busy in that job.
Kelvin Davis. Order. I've called Kelvin Davis. Order. I've called Kelvin Davis.
To the Minister, what is she planning to do to help the 25,000 Māori who now find themselves unemployed, unable to find work and facing increases in electricity and food prices?
Honourable Paula Bennett.
Mr. Speaker, what we do have within the Ministry of Social Development is assistance for some people through hardship assistance. We've certainly seen an increase in them over the last year for people looking for them. We're certainly seeing more emphasis on community max in areas like that. Nearly 50% of the take-up in community max has been for Māori. We're seeing $1.5 billion in infrastructure with broadband. We're seeing roading programs that are actually creating jobs for those very New Zealanders.
The Honourable Sir Roger Douglas.
Mr. Speaker, has the Minister seen the analysis that shows the doubling of youth unemployment since April 2008 is far greater than usual during a recession, with 2 out of 5 Maori youths now unemployed? And if so, does she agree that the abolition of youth rates has been a major contributor to this unusually large increase?
The Honourable Paula Bennett.
Mr. Speaker, yes, I have seen evidence that actually youth have been most affected by this recession. I actually put it down to the fact that for 9 years under Labor, they had an education system that left them behind. So when they came out looking for jobs, they actually didn't have the education and skill level that was going to actually keep them in the market. And that, Mr. Speaker, is why national standards are so important.
Order. Hekia Parata.
Order. To the Minister, can the Minister give an example of how this government
Order.
has
Point of order.
assisted...
Honourable Darren Hughes.
Just raising a point of order. The point of order I wanted to raise, sir, was that Sir Roger Douglas's question was about youth rates of pay in the employment market, and there was no attempt to address that whatsoever.
Order. No, don't need any further help on the Minister to answer the question. They answered the first part of the question and then offered a different view with respect to the second. Hekia Parata.
To the Minister, can the Minister give an example of how this government has assisted those struggling in a difficult employment market?
Honourable Paula Bennett.
Mr. Speaker, as I referred to yesterday, it is a big list and one that takes quite some time. Home insulation, $347 million going into that, over 2,000 jobs. Healthy homes, $91.5 million this year, another 1,500 jobs there. Job ops and community max provide another $1 million just for extra support for student jobs each. Another $1 million going to local councils for youth development partnerships. 1,600 summer scholarships for students. The list goes on.
The Honourable Sir Roger Douglas.
Mr. Speaker, does the Minister agree with the Honourable Kate Wilkinson, who yesterday stated that the abolition of youth rates priced young people off the market? And if so, will she support my member's bill being released this afternoon to reintroduce a youth minimum wage?
The Honourable Paula Bennett.
Mr. Speaker, I have not seen any evidence in both my role as Minister of Social Development and Minister of Employment through Vote Employment that actually shows evidence that young people are losing their jobs because of the youth rates.
Carmel Sepulveda.
Parliamentary question. Given that even if the Minister combined all of the placements...
I've called the Honourable Member's colleague, Carmel Sepulveda.
Can't start again.
Start again, please.
Thank you. Given that even if the Minister combined all of the placements in job ops, community max and the like, she will only be assisting a mere 5% of the 168,000 New Zealanders looking for work, what additional measures does she propose to help the high proportion of over 12,000 Pacific people who are now unemployed and will not gain places in these schemes.
Honourable Paula Bennett.
Mr Speaker, I think there's a key difference here between, and it's quite evident, is that we believe that actually growing business, helping businesses, will actually help them have the confidence to take people off on jobs. That's what this government is doing. It's about growing the economy instead of just dividing that piece of pie differently, and that is going to create jobs. That is going to give jobs for those very people. Thank you.
Question of Hon Rebecchi, supplementary.
Supplementary to the Minister. What is she doing to address the nearly 10,000 people in the Gisborne Hawke's Bay region who are currently unemployed, especially the nearly 2,500 people who've lost their jobs in this region since National took office?
Honourable Paula Bennett.
Mr Speaker, it is true that area has been one that's been particularly hard hit, but we are seeing seasonal work come on and actually numbers there start moving. The Work and Income Office have had good reports of actually people turning into work as well, but we are certainly seeing some of our hardest hit are our rural areas. There's no two ways about it, but that unfortunately is the effects of a global recession.
Question number 11, Dr Russell Norman.